guys, Trey Vittetoe here, and I'm finishing up a session that I was working on today. I was actually working on a vocal chop for an intro to this song. And so I'm going to show you one of the ways I do vocal chops. I have 2 or 3 different ways I like to do vocal chops, and just whichever one sort of strikes me creatively at the time. But I'm also going to show you a new plugin I just purchased. It's by iZotope. It's called VocalSynth 2. It came out, I believe, last week or week before last. I'm just really starting to play with it. So for right now, I would say it's a really nice vocoder plugin. It does a lot of great stuff. It's really expanded on the idea of vocoder, and I'm going to show you just some simple things I used it for that I thought really added a nice touch to the intro of this song. So I'm going to get right into it. On the screen, what you're seeing is, first of all, over here, this is Groove Agent. Now, this is unique to Cubase, but really all I'm using it for is a sampler. And so any sampler would do. However you would like to trigger your sounds, whatever you have available to you, you could do the same thing with it. I'm just using it as a sampler. And just so you know how this works, especially if you are Cubase guys, there's a great, super fun, easy way to load samples into this player. You'll see that I have 16 pads on it here. And right now, I've got some vocal samples loaded there. So if you'll take a look at this piece right here, you'll see that all I've done is chopped up the individual syllables. And I'm not going to do it because I've already done it, but all you have to do, once you chop up your syllables like you want them loaded on each individual pad, in this particular sampler with Cubase, you just highlight and grab it, and you can drop it right on top of the pad, and you'll see the pad changes. If I were to drop that, it would load each individual sample or each individual syllable into one of the pads. So I would have this. So I have my syllables lined out. Now I've already tweaked the syllables a little bit. And some of them I pitched up. You can do anything with a basic sampler like this. You can reverse the sound, you can pitch it. There it is. So you have a lot of control over the sample itself. And I just choose random things. I don't really have any rhyme or reason to what I do. I just really want to start with something, and then I kind of build rhythmically. So I'm going to show you the sample first. I'm going to play the part for you by itself so you can hear what I did, chopping it up. Okay, so you get an idea. So my process was pretty simple. I chopped up the sample, laid it out there as I played it, and then I just started, I think I probably just played it down one time and just threw some, I was really thinking more rhythmically than melodically. I was just throwing things down in places where I liked where they sat. Then once I listened to that a couple times, I maybe started moving things, and I even went back to some of my samples, and I changed the pitch of them. If I wanted to land on a different pitch, I would just change that till it took me maybe 5 or 10 minutes to kind of get to this point. And all that's really happening on that track right now is it's the vocal that the singer sent me, chopped up with a little echo on it. So that's the way I like to do vocal samples sometimes. Now, I had the new VocalSynth and I wanted to play with that. All right, so this is VocalSynth. It's kind of a cool little interface. I'm not going to get into the details of the interface or all the inner workings of the product. I'm not going to do a review on it because I just want to show you the magic that I pulled out of it the first time I ever played with it. I will tell you this, that if you look at the top, there's 5 different little quadrants or windows here, I guess. One says BioVox, Vocoder, CompuVox, TalkBox, and PolyVox. So each one of those seems to have a different characteristic. There's a ton of control you have over each. You have some basic controls here. Then you can open up here. You get more controls for each one of these little quadrants. So now what I have to show you today is pretty simple because after trying a lot of sort of thick vocoder-like stuff, I came back and really ended up playing, I just played a monotone line that really worked well and had the magic for me. So let me show you what I did. This is what I had. Now that's the part as it was before. Now let me bring a little bit of this in and hear what it does. And I'll bring it up all the way so you can hear it by itself. So I played a different melody in the keyboard than the chopped vocal, so they're essentially in harmony. So that's with the original vocal and the VocalSynth mixed in. Nice effect. I really love it. Just to show you how simple they made this, there's a couple of different alternatives you can use with this. It can provide its own internal voicing for the MIDI part, so you don't have to play a MIDI part. I haven't really played with that yet. Or you can provide a MIDI part. You can play it live, or you can run a part down as I have and run it. But what I really love about these guys is they left nothing to chance, because as you'll see, if you click on this little thing right here, it's MIDI mode. So it's pretty user-friendly, because it knows that my system is Cubase. Here's the Cubase setup in 4 easy steps, what you need to do to get up and running, to get your sound. So very simple process. And so I tracked my synth part here, on this part right here. Now, if I were to move that out of the way for a minute, I'll play something live just so you can kind of get a feel for it. There it is by itself. Here we go. It's very cool, but I didn't need all those notes. I felt like one single note was doing it for me, and so it's just a monotone part. Pretty simple by itself, but I think very effective with the music. If you're interested in this VocalSynth, I highly recommend you go check out some of the videos. There's some great videos out there on it. From the company, as well as some other people that are already using it. If you're interested in buying this, I believe they've got it at a reduced price right now. Take a look at it soon if you're interested in buying it. I'm using BioVox and CompuVox. So again, here's my part by itself. Let's just hear VocalSynth. So I took this one out. So this is just BioVox. It's kind of cool. There's this clarity knob here. Kind of interesting. There's a breath knob. Adds a little more breath. Pretty cool. You have a level, you have a volume knob there basically. Now here's CompuVox. So it's just a very different tonality feel. Doing a little bit crushing there. Now you'll notice also another cool thing. You have presets, of course, really cool presets over here. This window opens up and you'll see just tons of great presets to start with and play with. But also, for each module, you can access the different presets associated with that. So it's really kind of a playground. You just need to... I haven't spent any time with it at all, so I can tell you that there's much to be discovered. So I want to show you the final result of what I did. So I tracked those parts out, so they're audio. The final part is much more subtle than what you've heard so far. So I was just looking for a vibe, and I wasn't sure what I wanted. All of a sudden it struck me to try a filter. So I have this little one knob by Waves. It's a extraordinarily simple filter to throw on quickly and use. And I automated it, so just really a nice subtle effect. The last thing I thought, the one knob with the low frequencies was a little muddy, so I rolled a little bit of quite a bit of the low end off. I rolled it off at about 100 hertz. So really all the low end is gone off of it. This is without the EQ. So that's the final for my little intro here. I hope you guys dig it. Now here's the interesting thing, and this is the way I work. Maybe this is the way you work too. Now, this is still fresh in my mind from creating it today. Right now it sounds really cool, I like it. But I could come in tomorrow, I could totally hate this, and I could reinvent it entirely. But feeling pretty good right now. You're welcome to comment and tell me what you think, if you think I should keep it or not. So anyway, there you go, guys. Just a little quick, I don't know if I call this a tutorial. It's a little bit of a window into how I do things. I think before I close, I'm going to show a couple of examples of other things that I've chopped, just so you can hear some of my style of vocal chops. The first thing I'm going to play you is a song that I never finished with a really great songwriter and artist named Drew Ryan Scott. All right, so you get that. All right, so this next one I want to play, this is an older song that I really like a lot, written with Sarah Thiel and Gina Schock. We recut this song with an artist that I love to work with. Her name is Maddie Hudson, and her vocals are always phenomenal. You can hear the vocal chop at the front on the intro, but then I'll show you how I also introduce it under the second verse.
What is going through your mind?
Okay, now let me move on to the second verse here. Here goes.
So you need some time. Well, I'm not good at waiting. Do you think that breaking apart will change us? Well, we're gonna find out.
Anyway, subtle, but it's a nice color underneath there. Okay, so this next song I did with an artist named Sophie Beam. The verse really had huge gaps between the lines, and so I knew I had to do something instrumentally or vocally, something to play with that. So
the sun goes up and down. Childhood friends, where are they now? Where are they now? Scattered all around. Oh, bits and pieces get lost and found.
I'll just play one more. This is Reed Deming, a song that he released not long ago called Get to You. Anyway, so there's just a few examples of the way I use vocal chops. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you got something out of it, please like and subscribe, comment below, check out my other videos, and until next time.